Hey everyone, this is Splinter47 here. I just wanted to do a quick rundown and review of Twin Peaks. So I don't know if I'll be doing this for the. I should have done this for the first episode actually, but you know, things happen. I got too caught up in the show, and I can't go back and rewatch the whole thing from the beginning because the first pilot episode is like an hour and a half. So I won't do that. It's a good show, but I'm not gonna rewatch it again just to do this. But it's a great show. I recommend anyone who hasn't seen it watch it. The kind of give backstory here how I got into watching the show. I'm already watching it for the second time right now. This is why I'm going to do the review for season 2, episode 15. I was familiar with it after playing Daily Premonition. I've heard that the game takes a lot of inspiration and nuances from Twin Peaks, and both are very different for the most part in story, but they both have similar traits in their characters, and just little things here and there that are similar, but both, all in all, both great things. And they're Daily Permission didn't completely rip off Twin Peaks in every way. I know that the original TGS trailer, the Tokyo Game Show trailer, a while back in 2007, I believe, before it ended up getting that version of the game getting canceled and then just being redone again into Daily Premonition. It definitely had elements of elements of Twin Peaks, where it had the midget in the red room. Not the is it the red room or from the Black Lodge or whatever? But it was two of them, and then those two ended up being taken out of the Premonition we know today. Ended up being the two twins on there. But I'm not gonna go into it in depth. I just want to give some of the backstory of how I got involved with the show. After playing Daily Premonition, I found out about the show, watched it, loved it. Great characters, great story, and all the characters I really love in Twin Peaks and in Daily Premonition. So, okay, let me give you a quick rundown and review of this episode. I know if you're familiar with the show, you probably will remember this episode or not. I know it's a little strange for me to be doing a review of a very serialized show that needs to be previous content in order to get more out of what's going on now, the thing that I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to be reviewing episode 15 of season 2. We're kind of near. I think we're halfway around this season. This is the last season. Episode's called Slaves and Masters. The episode begins with James Hurley escaping Mrs. Marsh's place, which she ends up using him as the fall guy. She ends up killing her husband along with her accomplice. I think named Malcolm or something like that. And James is on the run. And he's on the run, and then Donna calls Ed about James' situation at the bar, where James ends up rekindling with Donna there. And then we go into Cooper and Truman interviewing Shelley and Bobby about what exactly happened at their place. The prior episode, I think Leo got kidnapped by Wyndham Earl. Bobby tells them that Hank shot Leo, so I think Bobby's clear of all that, and Hank, being Norma's husband, he's already on probation, so he's going to be going back into the slammer if they ever catch him. Truman tells them that he will send a squad car to watch Shelley's house. Let's see. Find out more about Wyndham Earl. He's sending gift-wrapped packages to police departments with article of clothing at each location. One including some jewelry and a white dress, which is being Cooper's wife's dress. I don't know if they were married or they were dating. I think it was something like that. I have to go back and look at that, but it's something like that. And there's some sort of thing going on with their past thing with Wyndham Earl and Cooper having something. I guess having some sort of affection over with Cooper's Cooper's wife, and and she ended up getting killed because of it, and just this whole thing, uh, rivalry between the two. Um, Next shot is in the episode is Windham Earle playing the flute, um, and showing a kidnapped Leo who can, for some miraculous reason, he can walk now, but for some he can't talk. He tries to escape, and then Windham Earle beats it with a flute, then attaches a shock collar on Leo. I gotta say, after watching this episode, I mean, I did not like Leo from the very start of the show. I thought he was a douche, but and then this is the great thing about Twin Peaks. Like all the characters, I mean, for the most part, I really do like them. Even the ones that I like hate, like despise, like the only notable ones I can think of right now, like Leo and Catherine. That I despise a lot, and Leo's. I mean, as this season goes on, you start to kind of feel sorry for him, and then he does redeem himself later on in the show. Spoilers. And he ended up being this kind of his own character that I guess he's gone through all this physical trauma in his life, and I guess he's kind of looking back and saying, oh yeah, I was kind of an asshole. He never said any of this. I just got that out of what I saw from later on the season, but I just felt that he's kind of I fucked up, but it's just, it is what it is, and he's kind of redeeming himself in the later episode in the season. So we get that. Ed finally bangs Norma after all this time of them having a secret affair behind Nadine's back, and they have the deep conversation in bed on how they should have got together when they were in high school. Nadine drops by and breaks down the door. another another instance of her just showing off her strength for some weird reason after getting I forgot how she got that way. She got hit or something, and I know the previous episode prior where she started kind of losing her memory and kind of becoming a teenager now. She's like after she got hit in the head or something like that. She has the mind of a teenager, and she's like flirting with this high school guy that is one of the minor characters in the show. Mike, I believe his name is, and she's kind of flirting with him, and she's just showing off her ridiculous strength she got after she getting hit in the head. And she's trying out for the team and things like that, like a wrestling team and other athletic sports and things like that. It's just a lot of very funny moments that I thought. And then I think the episode prior to this one, something was going down with Norma's husband and Ed. I guess he found out that Ed was in a relationship with Norma behind his back, and he went over there to his house to kick his ass, and then Norma just got home from I guess the grocery store, and then he just ended up kicking the crap out of Norma's husband. I thought that was hilarious. Almost killed him too. And then Nadine says that she's alright about Ed and Norma being together, and she confesses that she's in love with Mike. So she's been feeling a bit guilty because she's also in love with Mike. With Mike, he's not even in love with her at all. She's just like trying to get away from her every possible moment he can. And it's funny, later on in the season, I think he ends up actually being in a relationship with her, kind of warming up to her. I thought that was pretty funny. And we get a transition here to a shot of Josie and Truman and Cooper, trying to grind her for more information on her past. And Cooper gets another cup of Joe, as he likes to say. And we get a great appearance by Pete. I love Pete. He's a great character. He's Catherine's husband. And talking about, I guess he was at the store or picked up Catherine's clothes at the dry cleaners or something like that. Cooper takes a sample from the clothing from Catherine's clothes, or I think it was Josie's. I don't know which one it was, but and then Josie gets a call from Eckerd, the guy who does the voice of Ra's al Ghul plays him. If you're familiar with him, if you've seen the Ninja Turtles movie, The Secret of the Ooze, that sequel, if you remember, he was like the doctor or the scientist in that, or he's the voiced Ra's al Ghul in Batman the Animated Series. Go away from that. We have Ben Horn, still out of his mind because he lost the mill and his money to Catherine. Audrey trying to help him by bringing Dr. Jacoby over to the hotel, and he's still got his wacky clothes. And Dr. Jacoby, and with the red and blue lens on, like the one lens is like blue and the other one is red. He's very, very strange and different, and differently dressed doctor there. Audrey suggests taking over Ben's business until he's back to normal, and Bobby is still trying to get into the business with Ben by following along with his crazy shenanigans. Him being dressed up as Robert E. Lee, and reenacting scenes from the Civil War and things like that, and having this whole kind of drum band over at the hotel, just weird stuff. Donna talks to Mrs. Marsh at the bar, asking him why she's framing James, and the guy who Mrs. Marsh is in cahoots with tells Donna not to interfere, or else he'll kill her or James or something like that. Then Cooper and Al will go over the evidence which sheds some light on Josie. I guess it kind of is pointing towards her killing some dudes. So Cooper won't tell Truman until he's certain. And we find out that Pete is a chess expert. Yes, classic scene, vintage Pete, I like to say. Beating the whole row. It was Cooper, Truman, and some other guy who hangs out at the Double R. He beats them all in chess at the same time, simultaneously, and that was hilarious. So he's trying to, Cooper's trying to find an expert in chess that can match skills against Wyndham Earl to help Cooper stop, I guess, Wyndham Earl from killing, and because he's kind of leaving him in clues. He's very sort of Riddler-esque in a way, just leaving clues, little obscure things, and just messing with Cooper. So they're going to be using Pete now to go head to head with that Wyndham Earl in chess to get more clues out and see what happens. I kind of actually forgotten a little bit on what's been going on. I've been rewatching this whole thing, and some parts I've forgotten because I just forgotten. It's been a while since I've seen the whole show in one go. Not over the time, because I have season 2 on DVD, but I saw the first season on a website on CBS, I think. Thomas Eckhart arrives at Catherine's house, and Josie's still being under Catherine's blackmail. So she's kind of using her as doing what she wants as a maid and shit like that. James confronts Mrs. Marsh at the bar and why at her house. Why she's framing him for the murder of her husband. Yeah, which is obvious. She's doing it for money, and finds out that obviously she did it for the money. And the guy that she's working with knocks James out with his gun. Tells her that when the cops arrive, tell them that James broke into the house and that they shot him dead, because he was in there with the purpose to. They're just saying all this shit's just to point the finger at James and him being the one that shot her Mrs. Washer's husband, try to get the money, and then just get out of town and stuff like that. Let's see. Audrey has this elaborate play set up with her dad, and where he plays General Lee, and Bobby blowing the horn badly was funny. Reenacting the end of the Civil War, and it's funny how Bobby pointed out to Audrey, like, didn't the North win the Civil War? And then, for some weird reason, they had Ben win the war, and Dr. Jacoby was one of the other generals from the North, I think. And it somehow breaks Ben Horn out of his weird state, and everyone's hovering over him after he wakes up, and he's like, it was all a dream, he was saying. So he's back to normal now. That was a little weird, and don't know what was going on with him. I'm sure there's some sort of, in your own interpretation of what was going on with him, just all this thing with his mind after, losing it all to Catherine, that bitch. James, we go over to the next scene. James is still knocked out. Mrs. Marsh has a heart now all of a sudden, and she doesn't want to kill James. Donna shows up and she called the cops, and we find out I remember her name now, Evelyn Marsh. She has the gun and then shoots Malcolm, which is the guy she's working with, and goes into a slow motion kind of weird monster voice slow motion as they're yelling after she shot him and end up killing him. Back at the hotel, Cooper passes by Wyndham Earle in a disguise. Cooper gets. Oh, did I forget to say something prior? I guess I didn't write it down. Prior to that, Wyndham Earle is putting on disguise, and then Leo, he's forcing Leo to write a letter to. I guess they're gonna send that out to Shelley, Audrey, and Donna. Trying to get the writing just perfectly. That was the scene that got me really feeling sorry for Leo, because he just still has this shock collar on him, and he's just shocking them, because every time he messes up with the writing and trying to get it really very meticulous, trying to get it precisely right, I guess, so it doesn't go back to him or something like that. And after that, we go back to the hotel, and Cooper passes by Wyndham Earle in a disguise I mentioned earlier, and Cooper goes to his room, sees a mask on his bed, and with a message recorder underneath the mask from Wyndham Earle, telling him that it is his move. So we will find out on the next episode what sort of danger Cooper is in, and what crazy things will Wyndham Earle do to Cooper. So this has been my little rundown of the episode, season 2, episode 15 of Twin Peaks. Good episode. We've got some really cool moments with not a lot of Cooper and Truman in here, but a good equal amount. But everyone else is kind of getting their own little things going on. I mean, I guess the big thing was with James, and good for Ed. Finally getting to bang Norma. I think they've been banging already, but they finally just said, fuck it, let's bang again, and let's get together and forget about Nadine and forget about your husband, because he's gonna go back to prison. He's on parole, and Norma's not even that into her husband anymore, because he's like a criminal and things like that, and he's right back where he started when she first met him again in his parole hearing and things like that. So good episode. Obviously it's kind of really hard to do a sort of review on this without having done ones prior to this episode, but I just want to do that because I really enjoy the show, and just doing a lot more videos now. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you're at all and have any idea what's going on with this episode, if you watched the show before and things like that, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this episode and your favorite moments from this episode, or your favorite characters. Tell me what your favorite character is from Twin Peaks and things like that. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a lovely night. Well, it's night for me now, so whatever day or night you're watching this, have a good one.